It's the Jack and Nick Horror Show.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Nick. Oh, no.
I just wanted to see if I could throw you.
It worked.
I know it did.
I'm Nick. He's Jack.
I'm Jack.
You always sound so fucking dead when we record.
You know why?
Because we must reanimate you?
No, because I'm pretty dead.
I know.
I had to be like rolled up to this microphone to talk tonight.
Mm-hmm. Recording 2 weeks in a row has like ruined your life. Clearly,
it really has. I'm getting a divorce. My dog broke up with me, and no, it's not. None of that's true, but it feels like it. But it's not true.
Right. So I hope everyone out there appreciates the effort we made to record 2 shows, not only in 1 month, but 1 week after the other. Yeah. I wish we could do it every week, but it's just like when one of these days when you get a dream job and I have a dream job and like the schedules work together, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, we will.
And then we'll be like doing it weekly till we hate each other. I love it.
You know what's funny? Every one of our shows is about our schedule.
I know.
We should call it the Jack and Nick schedule.
Yeah. First segment, scheduling for about a half hour.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Tell everybody what you're addicted to.
What am I addicted to?
Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, Battlefront. I can't stop playing it.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it, and it's been free this whole time. All the stuff there's nothing to buy on there, people.
I don't know what you're talking. Oh, you mean the loot? You could play the game without buying loot boxes.
Yeah, you play for credits, and then you got them. But now they changed it, where there are no more loot crates.
Yeah, it's all different. I don't know.
They unlocked everything for free.
Yeah.
And you just have to play as those characters and get skill points. That's all. Mm-hmm. And then they have cosmetic crates where you can change the appearance of your people. So like they have like officers with Greedo heads right now, but that's not till April. That's the elite people that get to do that. I'm not elite. I'm just an asshole who records a podcast with some guy named Nick.
I know. The other day they posted on my work, we talk on Slack at work, which is like a messaging system thing. Anyway, and they posted that like some dude's podcast had a live show, and I was like, not only did I not know he had a podcast, I can't mention that because none of my podcasts have ever graduated to the point of having a live show with a crowd.
We may one day.
I don't know. I will say thanks for everybody for hanging through our ridiculous schedule because the downloads always get bigger every time, and we're like, how? What did we do right?
We just didn't do.
Yeah, exactly.
So after this episode, we'll be back 2019.
Right. By doing less, we attract more. I don't understand. Let's talk about a movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about a movie, which is Re-Animator, and then we are going to talk about reanimation of what movies or franchises you, myself, and Nick, I'm just talking to people, not you, Nick.
I know.
Yeah. Would reanimate or bring back
right.
to life.
It's a creative thinking ploy, see? Yeah. And then after that, maybe we'll talk about some other stuff, but we might just go to sleep.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens. If you hear this, that means my head hit the microphone. It's over. It's
right.
Out. Okay. All right, here we go. Movie of the week.
Jack and Nick.
So tonight, your boys, Jack and Nick, are going to talk about Re-Animator. This is not a new movie, obviously, if you're aware. It's a movie from 1985. We felt like talking about something old, classic that we both enjoy for once. And this movie came out in 1985. It is based loosely on some work of H.P. Lovecraft. I've never actually read any Lovecraft. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, Lovecraft. But I don't know if Jack is or not.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing
No?
at you.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Not to knock people, but
no,
yeah.
but like there are people who like love it, and I've never gotten into it because I'm like, what if I become like that? Is that what happens? But anyway, so this movie's the story about two medical students. One who has invented a way that might reanimate people. Considering the movie's called Re-Animator, you can assume someone gets reanimated, and I mean dead people, not like people who are sleepy like Jack. He lives with his classmate, and his classmate has a girlfriend, and they're both kind of creeped out by him in the way that you would be if you were roommates with someone who might become a mass shooter or something like that, or a serial killer, like the quiet one who is weird. He actually kind of reminds me of my brother a little in this film. Don't tell my brother that, Florida Matt, if I'm New Jersey Nick. And the movie, what else can we tell him about this movie? I mean, that's almost that's a great synopsis. I'm going to give myself a little applause there because I have never synopsized a movie in a way that made sense before, and that actually kind of worked, right?
Yeah, and it was swift too.
Right. You got people in this movie. You got what's his name? The guy who I always call Herbert West because I always forget his
cats and.
Well, there is a cat, but no, the guy whose name I always forget, and I always call him Dr. Herbert West because I forget his name.
Jeffrey Combs.
Right, plays the character of Dr. Herbert West, and you got Barbara Crampton, whose character name I don't know because anytime I see her on screen, I just say she's Barbara Crampton.
Anytime I saw her on screen, well, I'll get to that later. And don't forget the lovely and talented Bruce Abbott as well.
Aha. That is, he's wonderful.
He is. You know who his wife was. At one point.
Real life?
In real life.
No, and I don't ever know that stuff.
Linda Hamilton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that Linda Hamilton. And
that might have been funny. And then, did he lose his wife to? Didn't she leave him for
Mr.
James
Cameron?
Wow. Yeah. See, this is about a horror movie because that's about Terminator. Terminator's horror.
It sure is. It's funny. Terminator and Alien are both horror, and then both sequels are not.
Yeah, things got weird.
But I mean, it's all right. We're Animator, Re-Animator.
So here we go.
We're talking about animators today. First off, Don Bluth. What?
Don Bluth. How about that Ren and Stimpy guy who just got outed as a pedophile?
Which Ren and Stimpy? I don't know who you're talking about.
The guy who made Ren and Stimpy, John Kirker. He's got an unpronounceable last name that starts with a K. Turns out just before we started recording, people have outed him as a guy who preys on young women.
He preys on them.
Preys. Like P-R-E-Y.
Not A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like hires them and, it sounds gross. It's a real shame. Who would have thought that the guy who made Ren and Stimpy was an insane person? Oh.
That makes... So Re-Animator is a movie. When I first saw something about it, I believe it was in a Fangoria or a video rental magazine, but it was a one-sheet. It was the whole page, and it was about the movie Re-Animator coming to video cassette. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell this is. I don't remember seeing anything about it in the theater. Looks very cheap and shitty, so I've got to see it. And I rented it, and you know what, Nick? This is the very first time that I saw cunnilingus on film.
Simulated,
not real. And when I was younger, and sometimes now too, but when I was younger, I had facial recognition issues. Like, I would always think one actor was a totally different actor. Case in point, in this film, I thought that Barbara Crampton was Bess Armstrong. And you may know Bess Armstrong from Jaws 3. because she has the same exact haircut. And I thought that the cut off head was a Fritz Weaver from Creepshow. I thought that's who that was. And then like Bruce Abbott and Jeffrey Combs, I got mixed together, and I thought Jeffrey Combs was Bruce Campbell when I was younger, because my brain is just really shitty at times. But anyway, enough about me. This movie is one of the obviously coolest, most glorious films made at its time, and it's kind of still now. I think it's still pretty goddamn gory, and it holds up very well. More so than a lot of movies of its time. Like if you watch this right now, it mostly takes place in one location, and that's what's cool about it. Like it's a very timeless film. So something that when you put it on, you really have to be in the mood for it, though, because I did watch this before. I'll tell you about that off air, where I was like, "Yeah, Re-Animator, that's gonna cheer me up." No, it didn't. It didn't cheer me up at all. I was like, "This movie's terrible. Fuck Re-Animator," only because like I was just in a foul mood, and this isn't comfort food movie for me. Like it's a movie that I've seen a lot of times, but it's something that I just will watch once in a while. But it is a fun movie. Directing wise, Stuart Gordon is incredible. Acting wise, it's better than most B movies. I think even Barbara Crampton is wonderful. She's great in every movie she's in. And that's about it for now. I'm gonna sit here and jerk it off too much. So what about you, Nick?
I actually, this was one of those horror movies that I somehow never saw. You know, everybody's got a horror movie that, like, for whatever reason, I never saw that one or anything from its series. And for me, it was Re-Animator that I just never saw until about 5 years ago when it first came on to Netflix, and I saw it and I absolutely love it. And I'm not like one of those people who like will watch every movie from the 80s now and just be like, oh yeah, I love that movie. No, I'm completely discerning. I mean, have you not been listening to me for the past 5 years that I've been podcasting? If I don't like something, I'll just tell you. But
it's actually been 7
years we've been podcasting. Holy shit, we're old.
I know.
When we started podcasting, I always thought it'd be better.
2011.
Oh my God.
I know we've gotten worse.
I know.
Hey.
But that's a long story.
Yeah.
So anyway, the short story is I love Re-Animator. I think it's one of those movies that is like, it's just so much fun,
Yeah.
And I think like a movie like this, if it came out today, it would be like, it would take itself too seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine if it came out today in theaters, right? It would be like pretty much like the Flatliners remake, where it was like they try and really do it for real, and it's going to be a real gritty look at reanimating dead bodies or something.
You know what? Like, the trailer for it would probably have like a slow version of a song sung by a girl with like the dings in it.
Oh my God, that's what every trailer has now. Yeah, like they had the singular pings of piano keys, right? That was the thing for years, just ping, ping of a piano in every horror movie. And now they do this in pretty much every trailer. They have to have the slow, soulful version of like a 1960s song for no reason. Or the one, Jesus Christ, what the hell was the one for the video game Infamous? The trailer for it had like Nirvana's Heart-Shaped Box sung by a girl. It was weird.
You want to know what started that whole trend?
I don't even know if you could actually place what started that trend.
I can.
But let's see.
Can. Donnie Darko. It was the slow version of Mad World by Tears for Fears, done by, what is it, Gary Giles or Jules? That was also used in the Gears of War trailer.
Right. See, I would have placed it to Gears of War.
And then-
Like, I'm not even joking
but-
with you. I would have said it was like Gears of War was the first one that I remember where it was like some big blockbuster looking thing
And then
in front of like soulful singing.
and then it became a new trend where
Right.
everything was like, slow down and Yep.
I feel like I can't say the word soulful. What's wrong with me?
soulful.
So anyway, people are not soulful in Re-Animator,
They are.
and I mean, basically, like what I gave you as the plot is pretty much the plot of Re-Animator. A dude comes up with a serum to reanimate dead bodies, and he and his roommate keep trying to break into a morgue to get dead bodies to reanimate, and everything goes horribly wrong in grotesque ways. Like wonderful practical effects, not just for the time, but even if you saw this stuff now in a movie, it's gross, Yep. I mean, not every effect lands, but there are some, especially when they're like peeling the scalps off of dead bodies during autopsies and stuff. It looks wonderful, dude. Wonderfully gross, wonderfully grotesque, and but it's also like cartoonishly grotesque at times.
Especially-
Like I would say like like an old comic book from like the time before when there was the code that ruined everything in comics. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where like blood was like green and like a glowing green type stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like this almost feels like like it reminds me of the stuff in like Creepshow. Even though
I would say that I was going to mention.
okay.
Fuck you. But I was going to mention cartoonish. The scene with the cat reminds me a lot of Phantasm. The scene where they have the finger in the box, which turns into the insect that is attacking them. I know you don't remember because you hated that movie, but
Yeah.
but it's almost, it's not shot for shot, but it's like very close to Re-Animator. There are, one thing about the movie is it's so fast too. It doesn't, it doesn't slow down too. It starts, it gives you the setup and then that's it. It's go time. It's kind of like, what is it? Dead Alive in a sense, like where another movie you haven't seen a full movie.
No, I have.
But you have.
Oh wait, no, remember because I watched it
Yeah.
without drinking as a promise, didn't I?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think I did
Oh yeah.
because I
But-
never saw it while sober.
Oh, one side thing about Re-Animator, and if you want to sound cool to people or pretty lame, there's a the scene when what is it? Barbara Crampton and her dad go to the hospital, and he's looking for whatchamacallit, was it West? But I know he was looking for Kane, and he goes, "Nurses, Mr. Kane," and hospital. She goes, "Yes, I just saw him in the morgue." And he goes, "I specifically told him." That is actually the opening to "It's a Big Daddy" thing from Big Daddy Kane. So if you want to sound cool, you could say, "Hey, Re-Animator is part of Big Daddy Kane's Big Daddy thing." It's up to you. You don't have to.
No, I don't even know what Big Daddy Kane is.
Oh, that's
sorry.
right. That's okay. You're forgiven.
So anyway, there's like, there's so much cool stuff in this movie too, man. Like, there's literally a character who becomes reduced to a severed head, and still lives as a reanimated severed head. And the things he does, first off, the way he acts as a severed head is so wonderful. Where he's like, gasping for air.
Oh, yeah.
And like sounds so sick. It reminds me of in Return of the Living Dead, the one scene that really creeps me out is the one where the zombie's laying on the table and is just like, it hurts to die. Because it seems like so perfect. I could feel myself rotting, Sometimes I go back and just rewatch that scene occasionally.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, I know. I really love that scene. And it's on YouTube. Anyway, just like, in fact, Re-Animator, totally on YouTube in its full form You can go watch it right now. Go link to it from our video so that our video on YouTube gets linked to. Well, we don't really have a video. We just have the podcast up, but go do that. Okay? Okay. No, go watch the whole movie right now. It's on YouTube. You don't even need to go buy it. I mean, I'd prefer you go buy it, but if you're not going to, it's on YouTube. YouTube. Where horrible things go to live.
You can also purchase the movie on Blu-ray.
Right.
Which is very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably find it in like a Walmart for $5. Or you could get the deluxe Arrow set. I don't think it exists anymore, though. But
also, what other things does the severed head do? It pleasures a woman?
Cunnilingus, yes.
Yeah. Well, there's other great stuff too. Now, I would be remiss if I don't mention how much from the very opening of the movie, as soon as the theme song comes on, I love it. I loved it when I first watched it. Yeah, because it's now the theme song is like
Psycho.
It's exactly Psycho, but it's like a perfect 1980s version of Psycho's theme song, which was probably done illegally. But it's also because everybody just was ignoring copyrights at the time or whatever. I think that they were just getting away with ignoring copyrights at the time. But it is also the same theme song to Friday the 13th, kind of.
In a sense, yeah.
Each one, and there's a video on YouTube, in fact, where they play like first the Psycho theme, and then the Jason theme, and then the Re-Animator theme all in a row, so that you can compare them. Because we're not the first people to notice this, but it's totally true. But I actually like Re-Animator's theme the best. It's just like the little stupid drum in the background that's like, bam, ba-dam, love it, love it.
That's what is it? Richard Band, who is Charles Band's brother, that does the score. He's done a lot of score over the years, and and they're all great, by the way. The one that sticks out for me is the House on Sorority Row. He even does like Terror Vision, stuff like that. He's done a lot of scoring, mostly for Band's movies, which this is a Charles Band production too. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget about that. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
I guess they don't like Charles Band, but I mean, the guy has produced a lot of great shit. And I mean shit, and not the literal sense, but B grade movies that are. A lot of the Full Moon features are a lot of fun, but
right.
With the sequels, have you watched the sequels?
I've never seen the sequels.
Okay, I have, but not recently enough to comment on them. They're kind of. They're fun. Not as fun as this one, but in their own way they are. But from those movies, though, it just felt forced. They were like forced sequels. That's kind of why I'm like, I got them, but that's about as far as it went. I know everybody was like shitting themselves over Bride of Re-Animator's Arrow double disc set, and you gotta buy it or it's going out of print, and they're spending tons of money on it, but nobody's watched it. They just have this movie that nobody's watched. But anyway,
wasn't there going to be a fourth one too that was going to be like President Re-Animator or something?
I don't know.
Like Re-Animator goes to the White House. I don't know. It was something stupid. Like they revealed it a couple of years ago.
You know what's
unproduced sequel? Hang on. There's information on the Wikipedia page about it. 2 unproduced sequels were The Island of Re-Animator, which would be like Island of Dr. Moreau, and the other one was House of Re-Animator, which would have featured Herbert West reanimating the President of the United States.
They sound like great ideas. That's another thing of concept over actual premise. What is it? A movie that you just mentioned. You didn't mention, but my brain went there. Was President Wolfman. That's a great...
Wolfman.
President Wolfman. That's all I'm going to say. Just
other...
check out the trailer for that one.
All right.
I got it on disc. We can watch it one night.
Oh,
But,
totally.
Nick and I, by the way, people, we might do a 7-day live show straight where Nick and I just watch movies and just talk about them for 7 days straight so we can catch up.
It'll probably never happen.
Wouldn't that be
That was
fucking
never
great, though? Wouldn't that be
what
wonderful?
7 days without sleeping. We die.
Okay, not 7 days. Okay, so maybe like 2. 2 or 3, like a weekend, like a Friday. But like, you know what? Not a weekend. Like Sunday would be the day of rest, but it would end on Saturday, so we could start it on like Thursday and then go Friday, Saturday, and just watch nonstop movies on constant rotation, take naps, and then get up and keep doing it. I think that'd be fun. All right.
So, what else you want to say about Re-Animator?
There's a
Anything
lot of
else?
things that we can't really say that hasn't already been said because so
Right.
many.
But it's not just like we're not just giving out information, but like anything here else that sticks with you in this movie or anything like that. Like it is. I mean, it's just such a fun movie, and I think that's why it's fun to talk about it.
Oh yeah, it's. I think that the. I watched this with my girlfriend this time, and one thing that she had mentioned was the one thing that grosses her out is that what is it? Crampton's the guy who plays her father in this is the one that like sets her up on the table and removes her clothing for for the doctor to start going to town.
Yeah,
she found that very disturbing, and I don't blame her one bit.
yeah, it's quite gross.
Yes,
But I mean, the movie's gross. It's wonderfully gross, though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
anyway.
I guess that's all we're going to talk about. Now we're going to switch over to what is our topic of the week, which is not really a topic. It's a brain exercise. Mm-hmm. Are we going to play music in between, or you just want to talk about it?
We're going to do something in between.
All right. Ready for something in between?
Something in between. Here it comes.
Horror movie mix.
So we are going to reanimate things, Nick. The idea of this topic is what movie and or franchise you would like to bring back to life and give a new meaning or a remake, if you will. Or just like a shot-for-shot remake, like Psycho, or the Psycho theme, whatever you want. So, how about I'm going to ask you, Nick, what movie or franchise would you want to reanimate?
So I'm going to go first. You're going to go second, and then we have a bunch of. We asked our people on Facebook this time, not Twitter for some reason, but
Our
Facebook.
people.
Yeah, our people, man. You're our people. If you follow us on Facebook or Twitter, you're our people. But this time we asked our Facebook people.
And we're your people.
Right, the two people. Yes. So we asked you what movies you'd reanimate and how, and we got about 7 or 8 answers. So we'll read those off after, and then we will tell you if your ideas suck.
Yeah, we'll say fucking. That's what we'll say. We'll go fucking. ...
Yes. So if you want to be involved in future discussions, as we do hopefully more episodes. I'm hoping to get in more episodes this year than last. That's the plan. So if you want to be part of the discussion and the fun, follow us at Jack and Nick Show on Twitter, or just the Jack and Nick Horror Show on Facebook. So my idea, and I'm playing it a little bit differently because I was thinking about this and I was like, man, what movie would I actually like want to like take apart and like see redone some way? And I mean, there's a lot like that I've already mentioned on the show, like different ideas where I was like, oh, it would have been cool if they did this or that. Like I think that the movie It, if they took the movie It and just made the exact same movie but put Freddy Krueger in the place of Pennywise, it came up with a everybody fell asleep plot. It would be wonderful. But I'm not going to say that one because I feel like I already detailed that one last episode in the best of 2017 episode. So instead, I wanted to take kind of another recent movie, a 2017 movie that was good, and I actually thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I watched it a second time recently, and I thought, wait a minute, how come I don't remember a single part of this movie all of a sudden? And then I thought maybe I didn't like it as much as I thought I did, which is Alien Covenant. It just came out last year, right?
Still
This
haven't
movie,
seen it.
really? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it was. I remembered it as being decent the first time I saw it, and then I watched it the second time, and I was like, huh, because the movie is it is the fifth Alien movie,
I think it's like the
and
20th.
right, and technically the second Prometheus movie, because Prometheus, of course, was Alien 5, but it wasn't really Alien. It was kind of a movie based in the same lore as the Alien movies, but because of the reception to that movie, instead of making Prometheus 2, they went ahead and made a movie that was more properly an Alien with Xenomorphs movie, even though chronologically it is Prometheus 2. And it follows some of the threads that were started in the movie Prometheus, like the weird android David, played by Michael Fassbender.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets way weirder. But I really think I would have liked to have seen either an expansion of the ideas in Prometheus or just a different Alien movie that didn't deal with that, because it definitely is so jarringly constructed where like it's just two pieces that don't fit well, even though they take place in the same universe, you know?
Right.
It's kind of like, okay, like even though they're in the same universe, Thor and Ant-Man, if they went on an adventure together, it would be kind of silly because one of them's a god and the other one's a guy who can turn into like a little tiny guy, right?
He turns into an ant, I believe.
No, it turns into ant-sized man. See, that's his
okay.
proper ant-sized man. Or sometimes he turns into a giant guy. And like him and Thor going on a buddy adventure would not be as cool as Thor going with the Hulk or something, which happens in Thor 3. But so I feel like this movie could have been reanimated, wink, as two separate movies, as Alien 5 and as Prometheus 2. And I would like the weird stuff that they introduced in Prometheus and the weirder stuff that they elaborated on, like the homoerotic flute playing, to have been part of its own movie, because it really tonally does not mesh well in a movie where you're supposed to be scared of xenomorphs, but you're also kind of wondering what the hell David the android is up to. And like, you can't be worried about intrigue when there's a giant goddamn, manifestation of fear itself chasing you, right?
Right.
It doesn't work as well, and it's a flaw that I didn't notice in the first time I saw in the movie. Only when I rewatched it on HBO recently did I like really pick up on like how tonally sloppy that movie is. And sometimes that sort of thing just doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. So like I'm kind of immune to that. But I think if they could have separated it to just a freaking action horror movie and just a freaking sort of surreal sci-fi movie, or a sci-fi movie with surrealist elements, it would have been a lot cooler, Right. Either way. And I've always said, like, I wish that they had done the Aliens versus Predator. Like, really, if I could have reanimated any movie, but I know I've talked about this previously in podcasting, the movie that never was of Alien versus Predators, where it was going to be like the aliens come from space and they were supposed to be attacking LA. This is like a lost script to what Alien versus Predator was originally going to be, and somehow it got turned into the video arcade game Alien versus Predator. But it's like the aliens come and like attack the Earth, and they're starting to like overrun the place, the xenomorphs, and then the Predators come to help us fight back the aliens. Like that arcade game that existed in the mid-90s. It was a beat 'em up. Go look it up. It's on YouTube. And it's wonderful. I really love that freaking game. It's so cool. But it would have been cool if that had been a movie. So there's my real answer buried beneath my two fake answers, on what I think would have been a cool way to reanimate some stuff. So, Jack, in talking about reanimating movies, mm-hmm. What movie do you think would best be reanimated with your creative speciality? What am I trying to say? I don't know. I kind of walkened it there a little. I know you appreciate that.
I do.
But
I think they do too.
I don't know. I can't do it much. Like you can do it. Like you should read your whole reanimation idea as Christopher Walken. Go.
No, that's not gonna happen. But I can do it like this.
Nobody wants that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Mine is Waxwork. And have you seen Waxwork?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
All right. Well, to those who haven't seen Waxwork, it's a good movie.
Me.
It's yes, you. And it's got a damn great cast. Not that everybody's fantastic in it. It is a Z-grade horror movie. However, the premise of the movie is kind of like House of Wax in a way where, well, not really, but yeah, it kind of is too. It's kind of like a remake of Wax or House of Wax, but done in like the late 80s, early 90s way, where these kids, let's call them, go to this mansion that is called Waxwork, and there are set pieces of different things going on. Like you have like a werewolf and Dracula and things of that nature. And the kids that go there, one of them, one by one, they fall into, like they walk past the rope into the actual scene of the waxwork. And they become like the first guy, for instance, he goes into werewolf land and he sees that this dude is turning into a werewolf, and then these guys try to kill him, but he gets scratched, and then he turns into a werewolf and gets killed by the hunters. And he gets stuck in time as a wax person in that scene, and then his friends are passing it, and they see him as a werewolf. They don't know it's him dead. So it's pretty cool premise. It's a fun movie. It's not to be taken seriously at all. The cast, there's so many like well-known people in it too, which is kind of crazy. Now, the idea is that, like I said, you had the werewolf and Dracula and all that kind of shit. But I think what would be cool, and I'm sure Ready Player One's going to do it. I read the book and it's fantastic. But if you have all the horror icons that everybody wants to redo, but as wax people in a museum that come to life and kill the kids. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this way you could fill the void for all the people that, just constantly need the same shit over and over again, but you do it in a different way. Like let's say like the Freddy Krueger doesn't have to be Freddy Krueger making jokes, Freddy Krueger. It's just a menacing amalgamation, like a wax figure of Freddy Krueger that attacks people, rather than be the actual Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, the Jason Voorhees. That doesn't have to be the Jason Voorhees, but it is Jason Voorhees, but he does the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you get a whole bunch of them, and, if you had the licensing would be through the roof, but it's not like, it's like a different version of it, like an updated version for the past generation watching a movie now, giving it to this generation, where this generation's like, F you guys, we're going to have waxwork with people getting their limbs torn off. That's what we're going to have.
So kind of like an element of Cabin in the Woods, but with more overt references.
Yeah.
To...
Yeah, like, and in a sense, there was, where I got the idea, I always give credit, there's a Japanese film called The Park, which I got randomly. I just loved the cover. I was at FYE and I saw it was used. I said, this looks great. And I watched it, and it's about a haunted amusement park. And it's a really great movie. I really enjoyed the shit out of it. And there's a scene where there are wax people of like Freddy and shit like that attack the people. And I'm like, that would be fucking cool for Waxwork. Like, if they actually were able to secure rights to that, it would be a fantastic little film. I don't know. That's just my idea.
Yeah, it'd be fun, but right, impossible outside of the world of imagination on our show.
Yeah. But hey, that's what it's all about. Let's enough about us. I mean, we're two assholes.
Right.
Especially you.
Oh man, seriously. So I'm going to read some of the Facebook ones. How about if we take turns on the Facebook ones? You read one, I'll read the first one, all right?
Yep.
First one comes from Craig W. I'm going to say the first name and the last initial. That makes it sound official.
Craig W.
If you want to know his full name and stalk him, you actually can because it's on Facebook. But don't go doing that, creep.
Oh, sorry.
So Halloween would work with the original John Carpenter idea and make each film different. Does not need to have Michael, maybe focus on Dr. Loomis, and each could be a different case with a different type of horror he could face. Wait, you would make a bunch of horror movies starring Dr. Loomis as the common thread between them? I am 1,000% for this idea. I actually love that idea. Because you know why? Because Dr. Loomis is one of my favorite horror characters in fucking horror, period. And I'll take either version of Dr. Loomis.
I suggest you watch Fatal Frames.
Why? He reappears.
Oh my god. So Fatal Frames is
What?
All right, so it's a giallo, right? It's like a late 90s. I think it's late 90s. I'm pretty fucking certain it's 90s, let's say. Yeah. It's early 90s actually. Cuz Donald Pleasance is in it. As well as like Linnea Quigley and a bunch of people. It's like a 2.5 hour movie, and it's about this this pop singer who's like the most famous pop singer, and she's ugly, and she thinks she's hot shit. And the movie's like, you kind of have to see it. It's terrible to watch. It's got some great moments. And one of which is Donald Pleasance, because he's the cop who's trying to figure out who the murderer is. But you see, Donald Pleasance was dying during the making of this movie, like Halloween 6. Mm-hmm. So he vanishes from the movie to die in real life, and they go... He makes a phone call to the main dude, and he's like, and it's not even his voice, it's somebody else. I've got to go back to Haddonfield, and old case has opened up, and they play the
Oh, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. I mean, in a wonderful way.
It's absolutely terrible, but that's your... That might fill your void if you want to see another Dr. Loomis movie.
No.
Oh,
no.
But Nick, whenever we do hang out, you have to. I might like paint it on my wall. There's a music video that's on the DVD. Synapse put this out, by the way. You can get it somewhere. It's probably very expensive right now, but. There's a music video. This song is incredible. It's like it's definitely a metal song that the director, he did like metal videos for artists overseas and all that. And oh my god, it's really good. And he did videos for that girl. Oh my god, you remember Sylvester Stallone's mom? Like on the Psychic Friends Network.
Oh, I thought you meant in Stop Her, My Mom Will Shoot Me, which is the only thing that I understood.
Nah.
As to be his mom, which is the lady from Golden Girls with a gun.
And Jackie Stallone. Like, imagine Jackie Stallone, but thinner.
I have to because I have no idea who she is.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Okay.
Sorry. Ruining it.
I know. You just... So, Josh,
Which is almost his entire name.
and he says, how about a sort of reverse in the mouth of madness? The evil in Hobbs End has spread to cities and states surrounding it. Government has tried unsuccessfully to contain the quote-unquote disease. Meanwhile, a young horror occult fan stumbles upon books of Sutter Kane. After putting the clues together, he and his motley crew fight their way to the center of Hobbs End to confront the big bad. What do you think, Nick?
I never saw it In the Mouth of Madness. So sure, it sounds great.
You're an asshole.
Sounds great. Love it.
You would really appreciate In the Mouth of Madness, I think.
I've heard that before, and
It's
yet I have still not gotten to it. So
I love cerebral shit,
I really do.
and it is very cerebral.
Mm.
It not that I did this, but it may remind you of something else. I'm gonna say.
Okay.
However, I think that's a cool idea. We haven't said fucking yet to these people, but I think Josh, I think that's a really good idea, especially with the where it spreads to other cities. That really really cool. You can make a whole franchise out of that, but they'd probably kill it. It'd be like Sharknado, even though the first one sucked. So, Nicholas.
Yeah.
Nick.
Oh yeah, I get to read another. Hang on.
Nick.
I have to. Yeah.
Nick T. I'm going to call you
What?
Nick T.
No. Okay, Mike. Well, I can read this guy's whole name because we've read it since the first episode of anything we've ever recorded. Mike Merriman.
Mike'em.
He says, I would remake Cabin in the Woods to where the audience wasn't in on the joke so quick into the movie, which IMO killed any real tension and made the movie more of a comedy than anything else.
Fucking.
Fucking is right.
No. Whenever you put IMO, I discredit your comment. Because obviously your comment's your opinion, asshole. We could say that because we're cool with Mike.
No, I don't. All right, so I got to wrap my head around this a little.
Okay, in my opinion.
No, I understand that part. I know.
IMO. No, I'm saying that. I
understand the letters that the kids are using on the internet to mean, the eggplant's a dick. I get it.
I kind of agree with him in a sense. The more I think about it, he's kind of right. Where, like, yeah, he's kind of right. Like, if you think about Cabin in the Woods, you remove all the stuff with Bradley Cooper and Richard Jenkins and all that, and you just have the kids going to the cabin and all this shit happening, and then you do the reveal, or you can do the reveal very, very subtly, like, hey, what's this? What's that? And it becomes a progression, Then it would have been pretty cool, but you wouldn't have gotten to know Bradley Cooper and Richard Jenkins and everybody else with the bets and all that kind of stuff. So,
which is the best parts of the movie?
Best parts of the movie? Correct. Yeah, I think that I would say you could start the movie with the two of them riding in the beginning, like going to work, like Bradley Cooper and Jenkins on the little scooter thing, and then have Cabin in the Woods, and then you play it for like about 20-30 minutes straight without cutting back to them. Then you do the reveal. I think that would be cool. But anyway.
Nope, I disagree. I think it's a perfect movie. I think if you make it too much one way or the other, it may not have played well for mass audiences, only for losers like us, or it might have just sucked. And also, IMO, real tension. There you go. Somebody also commented on that. Austin S. wrote, great answer, clap, clap, clap. He didn't write the word clap, clap, clap. He put little clap emojis. So anyway, next up.
Yeah, okay. We have Diane M.U.
M.U., but not Moo or Mew.
DMU.
She's got a lot of names going on.
This is Miss University's, that's her last name, comment. A New Age, Rosemary's Baby. I know they recently did that movie in a way with Mother, but I personally wasn't a fan. So a crazier version, more boobs, more gore. I agree with this one 100%. More goat sacrifices. I'm not a writer, haha. And she didn't laugh that way. I actually just read it wrong. Here, let me redo that. More boobs, more gore, more goat sacrifices. I'm not a writer. And this is why. But that's my input. Cheers.
Yeah, see, like that's a fine idea because more boobs, more. If you wrote more boobs, more gore to anything, I'll be like, yeah,
My friend.
yeah, that's fine.
And not to sound misogynist here. No, it's like everybody, even women, like boobs. It happens.
See, but Rosemary's Baby is an old enough movie where you could extrapolate it into like all these other different ways, like add more satanic shit, add more goat sacrifices, as she said. You totally could, and like not whatever they did with that TV show that they came out with a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I have no.
Oh no!
And Mother,
I saw the trailer and that was enough. I understood what was going on.
Mother wasn't really like. I'll watch it eventually. I haven't watched it only because it's. But I have to be in the mood for that movie. I know that for sure. But yeah, more boobs, more gore. That's. Have you seen Rosemary's Baby, the original?
I can't even remember at this point. I've seen, that's another one of those movies that I've seen so much on Netflix that even if I didn't see the original, I feel like I might have seen it.
It's probably one of those things that like a lot of people like they watch Terror in the Aisles and they thought they might have seen Rosemary's Baby, but they only saw the clips.
Yeah, because I think I watched it like it was on YouTube in its entirety at one point, and I was told that you could fast forward to the end of it. Yeah, this is what I did. I actually remember now. Mm-hmm. I was told you could pretty much fast forward through it, and I did. So I've seen it in quotes.
It's a good movie. I really, really appreciate it. However, a good pairing for that movie is Rosemary's Baby and The Sentinel. Yeah. They have the same feeling.
The Sentinel. I had to think about which one that is. That's the one where the lady
Chris
gets.
Sarandon does his worst acting ever.
Right, and the lady gets like, oh yeah, no, that had like some cool stuff in it though.
Oh yeah, did you ever see the sitcom version of the Sentinel, where she goes to the house and what's her name? Mrs. Griswold is masturbating, and they have like the audience laugh track. During...
No,
it's on YouTube. It's somebody did like they edited it together like a sitcom version of it. You gotta see it. Sentinel sitcom. Yeah, just type in those words, you'll find it eventually. It's very. I'll
find it. Okay. Yes, YouTube. It's got horrible stuff on it, kids.
But Diane MMU, I thumbs up, Diane. Who do you have? Triple D, baby, Triple D.
Yeah, Dane DD. So many last names on these people. DDD, King DDD says Frankenstein, directed by Brian Usna, special effects by Screaming Mad George.
Yep, I could see that.
I don't even know who these people are, so you gotta help me.
Okay, Brian Usna, he actually helped out with Re-Animator, and he did Return of the Living Dead 3 and Society.
Oh, okay.
Screaming Mad George did the special effects for that. If you want to know what Screaming Mad George reminds you or might look like, think of a very flamboyant Dave Grohl. Mm. That's Screaming Mad George. And Screaming Mad George's special effects are wonderful. Society, Nick, you gotta watch Society.
Okay.
Need to. Don't eat before watching Society. Trust me. But watch Society. Because you, of all people, with the one with the universe thing.
Yes.
You kind of have to watch that movie. That's
okay.
It's the heart of the America. It's Today Chevrolet. That's what it is. But yes, I could totally see an updated Frankenstein. I know you don't like updated Frankenstein movies because there were a shit ton of them not too long ago. That goes
Right.
to Nick. But
You know what? I'm actually kind of over that though. Like if somebody could come up with a better Frankenstein now, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, man. Because I kind of feel like, whew, you know how I feel.
I know how
It's
you
just
feel.
like it's hard to think about Frankenstein anymore, as a story or anything. But maybe I'm kind of over it. I gotta search my feelings on this because I know like a few years ago when they were making like Frankenstein movies left and right, like the worst of them being probably I Frankenstein or that Victor Frankenstein movie,
Yep.
both which came out within like a year of each other. I don't know.
But remember,
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
how.
mentioned before. It's like, guys, I got an idea. Frankenstein in the woods, found footage. There you go. We're gonna make this movie. Oh my god, dude, that's so great. Nom, 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 nom.
Right,
And what happened? What happened? Nobody
right.
cares.
But
Nobody
here
cares.
we are. Here we are making a segment just about it. So
Yeah, nobody cares though.
what do we know?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Frankenstein's army.
Right, that movie went right down the fucking forget hole,
Yep.
memory hole, whatever.
It's almost like I'd say the newer movies. There are a lot of great ones, but the ones that are not good are the kind that like they're like poops. Like you poop and you're straining. You felt a little something,
This is becoming terrible.
but then you flushed it away and you forgot about it. You don't remember the poop you took like a year ago. No, it's the same thing. It's the same feeling.
Great.
That's all I got. I don't know. Austin S. So Austin's comment is remake of the Amityville Horror that stays very close to the bullshit events. The events in the book, directed by James Wanamaker. What do you think?
Did I read the book? No, I didn't read the book. I'm only aware of what's in the book because of that documentary that came out a couple of years ago called
My Amityville?
My Amityville Horror, or My Amityville Nightmare. In fact, I think it was called, right? Or maybe it was My Amityville Horror, whatever it was. It was the one where they interviewed the guy who was the child who was the subject of all these stories, and everything about it was like really phony. And Amityville, seriously, that's a movie series I am completely over. So
I still want to see all the other ones.
all 13 of them.
Yeah, I saw 2 and 3. And 2. Have you seen 2? With the incest?
Incest. No, I think I've seen 1, 3, and 4.
That's not how you sell a movie, Jack.
Yeah,
Have you seen... Dude, you gotta see Amityville 2 with the incest. No, like, it's fucking crazy. That's a crazy, crazy, crazy movie. You don't see... Do you see Daya Franklin's boobs in that?
Ooh.
No, you see them a lot in, what is it? Last American Virgin. And what's the other one that she showed her boobs a lot in movies.
Hey, did they ever release that last Amityville movie? The one that was delayed for like years upon years? I think they finally released it last year.
They released it for free?
Quietly somewhere on demand?
I'm surprised they didn't just put it to Netflix.
Right.
I mean, Netflix probably saw it and they were like, oh no, we'll release anything except for that.
Yeah. This is the one movie we won't release. It's another Amityville.
But I heard people liked it though.
Okay, let's just also say like the James Wan idea here and this idea that he brought to us, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, your didn't sound too enthusiastic there.
I think he's over it. I think James Wan is over the haunted house thing.
Right. Is it the James Wan's over it, or are you over James Wan?
No. I'm always down with whatever. But I think that it's like when you make 10 movies that are all ghost movies in houses, it's time to... And he is stepping away. He's remaking that Tommy Knockers now.
Ooh. Really?
Because that's not a good idea. But he might make something good out of it, so...
Oh, that's not a good idea at all, sir.
Maybe he'll get Jimmy Smits to be in it.
I knew who you meant immediately, but my brain was like, that just didn't sound right.
Yeah, we'll call him Smits.
Jimmy Smitsy.
Jimmy Smits is a good actor. I'm not knocking him.
James Wan, man. Yeah, with James Wan, I would like to see him do stuff that's not supernatural stuff. This is just me personally, but I mean, if somebody was going to make an Amityville movie and make it the best Amityville movie possible, I theoretically assume it would be him. Yeah?
Yeah.
He does good with them ghosties.
He does.
Last comment from our Facebook
man,
people.
we're almost at the end of the show, but not really. We might talk a little bit more after.
This guy's name is Joshua MacM.
Mac Daddy.
It's Mac.
Wow.
Yeah. Is that Big Daddy Kane?
No, that was.
I'm playing the white boy who has no idea in this episode.
Damn it, Mac Daddy.
Nobody cares.
Mac Daddy.
Nobody cares. I assure you.
I assure you that there is one person that's listening that goes, yeah, I remember that fucking song.
Here he goes. I feel like a modern retelling of Gremlins would be interesting. Some don't consider this horror, but it has the elements, and if they went with the original script, it would make for a fun, violent creature feature. And I'll agree with him. I mean, he doesn't really give us much of a pitch there with what to go with, but you know what? Gremlins you could do as like a modern dark comedy with gore.
Uh-huh.
Man, Gremlins could come out in 2018 and I would be happy with it.
I know.
Gremlins 3 or Gremlins Reboot or Gremlins the new batch, whatever you want to call it. I think that like Gremlins is an idea that could happen. And I mean, you don't even have to call it Gremlins, Don't even make it Gremlins. Make it Bogloblins or something, and just
that already happened.
Oh yeah, wait, that already happened like 4 times. But I think that the idea of a bunch of animal-like creatures who are
like
kind
munchies,
of,
maybe,
right,
or goalies,
or critters, perhaps.
Yeah. What about Evil Tunes?
You know what was funny? We each paused as we tried to think of another Gremlin-like thing. But here's the difference.
One I'm forgetting.
Here's the difference between me and Jack. I realized the joke was going too far, and I stopped myself.
I didn't.
Jack had to get one more.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
See, he was still doing it, and I knew it. Man, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Let's do another one of those. But awesome, like CG. Tomatoes popping out all over. No. But that type of idea is like timeless in a respect. You could tell that story 1,000 different ways every century, and it would be great.
When Billy comes home in the original screenplay to his mother, he comes home, he opens the door, and his mom's head is rolling down the steps.
Nice.
That could have been... I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a perfect
Gremlins
movie.
Is
Yeah.
one of the greatest movies ever made. But yeah, I could see that.
Spicing it up a little. You know how? More boobs and gore and goat sacrifices. Are you there? What happened?
Oh my god, I was just tooting my own fucking horn and I totally screwed up. I'm like, you know how great I am with the mute button as I'm muted?
What the fuck?
I'm over here blowing my nose every 5 minutes because my sinuses are all over the place.
Great.
And I'm muting the microphone, and I was just saying, while the microphone's muted, man, I'm doing so great. Oh god. Okay, so that is it. Thank you very much to everybody for their contributions to the Jack and Nick Horror Show reanimation sequence that we have just partaken in. Which one's your favorite?
Of everything submitted?
Yeah.
Come
on, don't pick favorites, asshole. All right, so we're gonna go.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about some stuff.
Right, and then we'll end the show thereafter. Everybody, join us as we leave the area.
Okay, we're gonna do that right now, and there has been some stuff I've watched. Nick, how about you?
Oh man, are we going to talk about stuff we watched before we end the show?
Sure.
Sure. I definitely have a lot to talk about. I'm hoping we have seen or done similar things so that we have a good convo, or one where we just tell each other all the cool things we have done in life.
Yes. So guess what I watched?
Oh, that's going to be difficult. Did you watch Veronica on Netflix?
I did not watch Veronica on Netflix. I know
Okay.
you did. Why don't you tell me about Veronica?
Oh, this is my convo now?
Yeah, why not?
Cool, it's my convo now. So I watched Veronica on Netflix because everybody's going nuts about this movie. It's from Pablo, what's his name?
Escobar.
No, not Escobar, the dude.
Paco Plaza.
Paco, not Pablo. God damn it. Paco Plaza, who made some of my favorite horror movies ever, like Wreck and Wreck 2. And he is, this movie's like a supernatural possession horror, takes place in Spain. It's in Spanish. It's on Netflix. You can go watch it right now. Everybody's like, oh my God, this one's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Dude, it is a slightly above average possession movie, and I was really disappointed with how much everyone had overhyped it to me. Maybe you're not as over that sort of supernatural horror as I am, but I'm kind of over just run-of-the-mill supernatural horror. I'm sorry, humans of Earth. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about it. I felt like it was a good watch, but I'm done with that type of movie until like I have finally not watched that type of movie for a long, long time, and then I can go back and go, yeah, there's a ghosty movie that I actually enjoyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, dude, it was worth watching, just not don't keep your expectations low is what I'm saying.
So I watched something.
And it was different than what I watched.
Yes.
To be clear.
It was one Victor Crowley.
Oh my God! You watched the new Hatchet movie. Hatchet. Mm-hmm. What number Hatchet is this?
4.
Oh yeah, 4.
And I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it's watchable. If that makes any sense.
Not really.
It's so, remember how Hatchet 3 was? And Hatchet 2?
So you're saying it's a Hatchet movie?
Yeah, it's a Hatchet movie. Yeah. So it's not bad. I bought it, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this. But it's another one of those movies where you could tell the budget's low, which is fine. I have no problems with that because almost all takes place in one location. And I don't know. It didn't. It was good, but not good. You know what I mean? Like my brain.
That's Hatchet movies in general.
I know.
Well, all right, Hatchet 1 I really love, so I'm not going to say that.
Right, but like Green didn't direct 3, but now he did 4, and he did it under the radar and all that kind of stuff. And our own listener. Sean worked on it, which is great, and all that too. And it's not that it's bad. It's just there's something about it where I don't know what. It's very hard to pinpoint my feelings on it because it's like I wanted to love it, but I didn't. But I still liked it. Like it's one of those where you just put on, you watch, and you enjoy it, or you don't, whatever kind of thing. It's not like a step forward necessarily. Not that he really wanted to do that. Like he wanted to, I know why he wanted to do it. He's mentioned it before. You can YouTube that too if you want to see it, but which is cool, and I think that's really great. But I think that Green really needs to be progressive and I hope that he gets the opportunity to do something like Wingard and them are doing right now, like Godzilla and all that shit. I mean, I think
I don't. I
no,
don't think that he's the same caliber of director.
I think he is. I think he is, especially with Frozen. I think that is really great filmmaking and a really good movie, and he got a lot of atmosphere and everything in that, and that was great. The Hatchet movies are just like what the fuck ever. The Spiral movie was really good too. I think he has it in him, but you know, but it's not like a bad movie. But it is a bad movie, if that makes sense. It's a bad movie, but it's not a bad movie.
It's not a terrible shit piece. It's close.
It's yeah. It's very odd. It's like almost on par with Hatchet 3 for me.
Okay.
You remember Hatchet 3? Like
I remember not really liking Hatchet 3.
right, but it's not like really. It's not like infuriating. You know.
Okay.
It's like okay, yeah. It's still. I mean, it is what it is. But
It is
anyway,
what it is for sure.
yeah, that's all. I'm sorry to like discredit it that way, but it's just it's all right. It's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not great. So it's there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What can I possibly say? I'm not looking forward to that one whatsoever.
All right.
Sorry, kids.
Anything else, Nick?
Oh, that I've seen? Oh my god, I might be here all day and all night, dude.
Shit.
No. I tried watching The Vault on Netflix.
The Vault?
Yeah, now this one is James Franco movie.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
With there's like a stick up at a bank, but what the bank robbers didn't plan on was that the vault is haunted.
Did they say that? Hey, that's a stick up, yeah.
Right. And I was like, wow, this movie sounds like such crap that it must be good. It was just crap.
I heard James Franco's like not in it too much.
That's true of every movie with James Franco except for The Disaster Artist, which I also saw and was good. But that was that, man. What I actually saw that I really liked that I would much rather talk about if we ever could someday is and it's probably going in my top 5 for the year at the end of the year when we do top 5 bottom 1 like we just did last week, but for next year, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to be Annihilation. Totally enjoyed that movie, man. I don't think you caught it, did you?
No, I really want to see it. I will see it. Probably when it comes to Blue, I'll just buy it.
Right.
But yeah.
Totally cool. It's a movie that is very hard to describe, honestly. Mm-hmm. It reminds me much of The Shining, in that it's like a total surreal, nutty movie, right? Mm-hmm. That you just can't. I can barely describe it to you. It's like if you, all right, I'll give you the premise of the movie, and then that's it. Because I feel like if I talk about it too much, I might spoil elements of it. Mm-hmm. But it's these people in the military find a thing out in the woods in a swampy panhandle of Florida, I believe, that is just like the sort of a shimmering dome over the land that is ever expanding, and they don't know what it is. And the people who have gone into it have not come out except for one person, and he is all messed up mentally. He doesn't remember his time inside. So this group goes in, and Natalie Portman leads the way, and the movie starts with a debriefing of her and about what happened inside. And that's all you need to know. Go watch the trailer. It's sick as hell. It's made by the same dude who made the movie Ex Machina, and it's got some wonderful synthy score, which will always convince me any movie is good no matter what, and absolutely surreal elements, way gorier than I expected, and I can't complain about it whatsoever, man. So I highly recommend that movie.
There you have it. There are the 3 books to that, right?
Oh yeah, it's part of a novella series, right?
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. Did I mention Tragedy Girls?
Yeah, I think you did at one point in an earlier episode.
I think I did.
But, well, tell us about it anyway.
I saw it, and I liked it. There you go.
Cool.
What else you got, Nick?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. I should have
You got
had
so
like...
many. Oh, yeah, I know. We're just shooting the shit right now, people.
Right, no, this is just me and Jack finally talking about the stuff we actually want to talk about, man.
Do you want to know how many credits I got?
No, but I did beat the game Until Dawn. We haven't really talked about that on the show. That was a totally fun horror game I played, where it's kind of like, it's almost like a modern version of a point and click adventure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you live through like a slasher movie and then a supernatural movie, and it's all going on at once. And it's really that game was just fun. And I totally recommend it. It's on PS4. You can get it cheap, like under $20. I paid $5 for it when it was on sale. So keep an eye out for a sale on it. Me and Jack totally recommend that one because you liked it too, right?
Oh yeah. And I got the prequel and sequel to it as well, which is the Inpatient is the prequel. Right. And the sequel is the roller coaster.
Rush of Blood,
which is
all on PS4.
Fucking terrifying. Yeah, well, it's PSVR, but man, that game is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much. It's so much fun though.
So, what other movies though?
Not much, man.
Really?
Yeah, like
it's too busy.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I've been catching up on a lot of Saturday Night Live episodes because I have the whole
right.
series. So.
No, I understand. Sometimes it's not like, you know, especially for people like us, it's like sometimes you almost get burnt out of watching horror because you have to do it for your second job, which is a podcast, you know?
Yep.
And I totally understand walking away from it for a little. Like, honestly, the whole month of January, I didn't watch any horror.
Mm-hmm.
I made it
fine.
I think actually until like the very last week of January I watched something. I watched something on December 31st, which was Rings 3, which I talked about last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing for like a month. And it was great to like wean myself of it just a little, because then it's like you come back to it and you're like, oh yes, now I'm ready to talk about garbage. So just to name a few others that I've seen then.
Wait, I did watch something.
Oh, you did watch something. You did?
Yeah. I forgot. I got a Night Kill for Christmas, and I watched that, and that is kind of like Blood Simple, in a way, like a '70s version of it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I have it.
I watched 2 more movies, both on Netflix. That were wait, you totally watched one of these movies. First up, I'll mention the paradox. The paradox. What is it? Cloverfield Paradox, right?
I didn't watch that.
That movie was a popcorn movie at best. It's on Netflix, so there's nothing stopping anybody from watching it. If you want to go see it, go and see it. It's out there, kids. Like, I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying it's not fucking gold. Like, either watch it or don't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then underneath that, you have the movie The Ritual. Didn't you watch that one?
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
What you think about that movie?
I did watch The Ritual. I thought it was good. It was good, but it's like another one of those things where it's for my goddamn painful ass. Every time I see movies like that, I'm just like, okay, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And this is gonna happen, and it's over. Okay, cool. That's kind of how I felt about it. I liked it, and people were like, you know, saying it's the greatest movie ever made and all that, as they do for everything, but it was good. It's a good movie. It's not like one that I'm gonna rush out and buy or anything like that.
Right.
That's just how I felt.
Yeah, no, pretty much the same way I felt. And this is another one. Listen to me, people. The Netflix horror renaissance. It's here, okay? Every movie I've mentioned is probably on Netflix, except for Annihilation, which, Annihilation actually came out direct to Netflix for the people in England.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
For
Fucking
sure.
crazy. Can you imagine? I had to go watch it in the theater.
Well, that's because
But
Paramount thinks that that people outside of America are not smart enough to enjoy a movie.
is it true? Let us know, foreigners who listen to the show.
I think it's
I know
bullshit.
you're out there.
I mean, there are a lot of dumb Americans. There are dumb people all over.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just one place. I mean, I'm stupid.
So anyway,
Here it is, fucking 10 something. That is like 20, almost 20 of 11, and I'm recording a podcast. That's how dumb I am.
yeah, we were supposed to be done. Anyway, so yeah, just to wrap up with this one, The Ritual, totally worth watching. Not like my favorite movie. Now watch, this is going to be a terrible year for horror, and it ends up in my top 5, and I'm like, oh, but no, I'm kidding. Maybe it will be a great year for horror. I hope it will every year. But this movie, The Ritual, is about like, oh goddamn, that's another movie that if you tell people what it's about, you almost wreck the whole movie. But these dudes are trekking across like some Scandinavian country's wilderness just for fun and for camping pleasure, and they encounter some terrible things out there in the woods. And I'd say in this movie, the terrible things are actually terrible. I would put it more akin to a movie. See, I can't even mention the movies that I would put it akin to because it might spoil elements of this movie.
I'd say Severance.
Severance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Severance and The Ritual.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's some ritual stuff in this movie.
No, there's a movie called The Ritual with Hal Holbrook. They go on a camping trip every year, and then there's somebody picking them off on. It's a slasher movie. It's good.
Well, anyway, you get the point. We can't tell you much about it because I think the less you know about The Ritual, like just go into it completely blind, and you're gonna like it more, right?
Well, I mean, you still want to see it though, because if you go in blind, like if you put a blindfold on, you're not going to see the movie. You might hear it.
I don't know. How do people who are blind watch Netflix? We really should read up on that. So at any rate, that's pretty much what I've seen lately that I can think of. I've played a lot more video games. If you want to hear about that, follow me on Twitter at New Jersey Nick, and you will see me bitch about 2 things: video games and pro wrestling, and occasionally a third thing: horror movies. I try and save my horror opinions for the show.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. With not watching horror and all that, like what Nick was talking about, what do you need a break? It's horror at times is kind of like I hate to compare it to, but it's like sex. Like
I knew it was going to be either shitting or sex.
It had to be, yeah. But like if you do it too much, then you get like you get let down. Let's say, not let down, but it just becomes like a chore, or like yep, did that, okay, next, yep, did that, next. But then when you wait a little while and then you watch it again, you appreciate it more, and you're like, that was really fucking cool. So that's what it is. It's that you miss it after a while.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, Nick, how can people stalk you?
I already said. At New Jersey Nick on Twitter. Come follow me on Twitter. And you can talk. You can send me any request. Nick, what do you think about this idea of horror movie, something? And I'll be like, guys, here's what I think. It's shit. Not always.
He will.
But
no, always.
Kind of.
Yeah. Kind of say it's shit.
No, but I mean, I'm happy to talk about fucking anything, man. So, follow me there. I'm happy that people listen to us. Thank you always for listening to us.
Yeah, thanks. Oh yeah, you can follow me at JacobK666, and you can also play Battlefront with me. PlayStation. Same name.
It's the only thing he does.
It really is. Well, you gotta understand, dude. You get a free daily crate, so you gotta open up the game anyway. You get the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'll play a couple rounds of Blast. And I love Blast because it's like 20 players. And that's it. And the one thing I really love about the game is not necessarily the game itself. it's the people that you play with. Their screen names are incredible. They have a lot of them are Star Wars fans, and they have like terrible Star Wars names. It's like old Bob Kenobi and there's so many great ones. I get a kick out of a lot of the names on there. So, and I'll just laugh about it. And you know what's also great about it, since it's I was telling you this, since it's so unpopular, there are less assholes playing than
It's very
normal.
important.
It
really is.
Like, people talk about Fortnite and how popular it is, and I'm like,
Ugh.
I don't even want to fucking think about that, because there are probably so many dickheads that play that game that I want no parts of. It happened to me
Absolutely.
with Gears of War when I first tried the Xbox Live thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing I think it was Gears of War 2. It might have been 2, or maybe it was 1. And I was like getting my ass killed left and right. And then one kid's like, "Oh, we got a noob in the room." And it's like 12. You know what? I got better things to do.
Yeah, that was kind of happening to me. I bought the Call of Duty remastered. The what one was it? Modern Warfare, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm playing that on Xbox, and like I'm dying like terribly because I haven't played the game for 10 years, but I'm playing it against people who play it all the time now. And I'm just like, they're like, I hear them talking and they're all like little squeakers, like, and I'm like, crap, I'm playing with like 12-year-olds, man.
Oh man, yeah. You know, that's the thing about the games I play. Like Battlefront has nobody can talk on there unless you have like a private room,
Yeah.
you know, or a private group that you're all playing together. Then yeah, you can talk to each other, but
Right, which is fun.
yeah, which is fun. Yeah, definitely. I've done that. I've met a couple people in there and played and had a fun time. They don't talk with me anymore because, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole. I fucking know. Who knows? I have played with here and there with Tor, our listener, and he's a fun time. He's a good guy. But yeah, it's dude. I can't stop playing. I want to play it right now, but I have to go to sleep.
Right, go to sleep.
I opened it up today to get the daily crate. Like every day, I have to open it just to get the daily crate.
Yeah, that's a problem.
No, it's not. You just get the credits and then you shut the game off. That's what I do.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Write into Jack. Tell him if it's a problem or not. Is it a problem? Tell him.
It's not a problem. I can't stop playing it, though. I even say it while I'm playing it. I'm like, I fucking can't stop playing this game.
Same thing happened to me this afternoon when I was playing fucking Call of Duty. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Oh, we're ending the show.
We have to. We really have to.
Yeah, we do. All right. I'm going to hit stop now.
Bye.
Sexual.